Hi everyone, this is Rodrigo from Globally. We're here together with Koen Van der Burg today to talk a little bit about the startup visa in the Netherlands. Koen, maybe can you talk a little bit about yourself and what Crosspring is about?
Sure. Hi guys, my name is Koen Van der Burg and I work for Crosspring, which is a tech incubator in Zoetermeer. We help startups from a quite early stage, we help them develop into a private company within 18 months. Everything is software related, and we also invest in startups, so typically between the 10 and 200K.
And as far as I know, you guys are very well involved with the startup visa in the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
Can you briefly explain to us what is a startup visa about and how does it work?
Sure. So the Dutch government basically they want to stimulate more companies to come over to the Netherlands with an innovative idea. And what they also say is they don't really see why the government should be involved in determining if something is a good fit for the Dutch market, and therefore we will stimulate the economy here. So they use companies like incubators, accelerators like us to help evaluate if something is a good fit for the Dutch market. So we are kind of a filter in that sense. And we can facilitate the startup visa for these companies because we know this market, we have experience with bringing companies to the market.
So basically the way it works is you need to contact the government and then they're going to assign you to a facilitator, and how does this relationship with the facilitator works, what is expected from the startup and what is expected from you in the process, maybe go a little bit deeper in this as well?
Sure, so companies can apply either directly to the government and they will look for an incubator or accelerator or facilitator that has a good fit with their particular needs and focus. Or they can contact us immediately and we do the application for them, so the government is not really involved in the first instance, but we will be involved later on when the process is already a bit further down the line.
Okay, great. But a lot of countries actually also offer the startup visa. So we have in Estonia, we have in Lithuania, we have in Portugal, Canada. Can you maybe share from your perspective why are companies choosing to come to the Netherlands instead of any other of these countries?
Well, the Netherlands is a country where a lot of people, first of all, speak English. They're early adopters, so also like big corporations, the government, everyone works together quite closely and are quite fast to adopt new technologies. We are really an entryway to the rest of Europe, right? So we have like by nature almost Dutch people are very international minded, so which is important of course when you want to come to the Netherlands and you have an international mindset already there, right? So we're very tolerant in that sense, and we have good incentives also for businesses. So in terms of taxation climate is interesting. The regulatory framework, and also as I mentioned the government is really involved also in stimulating more innovation and to help companies to come to the Netherlands. So in that sense it's an attractive market from different angles.
So it's not only a market that it can develop the company with early users, but it's also a place that by itself and by the nature of the country already stimulates you to kind of forces you to think international, right?
Yeah, true.
So it puts you in an international perspective from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's
also for us as a facilitator or as an incubator, this is something that we focus on from a very early stage. So when companies enter our incubator, the very first thing that they need to do is think internationally, especially for software. I mean, per definition is international nowadays, right?
Yeah.
So that's a very important aspect for us, but also for many other people in the Netherlands as well.
What is your relationship with the company then, if you were a facilitator? How does that work?
It's really different for each facilitator, but for us, like we invest in startups, so for us the main reason to be part of the startup visa is also because we want to invest in these companies, yes or no. So if we invest in companies, then that is for us the main aim to help them, of course. But we can also facilitate the startup visa without investing, and then we have office space for them. And we charge a fee for startup visa, so it kind of there's a difference in the way that we approach it.
And I guess based on that, the different facilitators also offer different kind of partnerships with the startups, right?
Yeah, correct. So each incubator can decide for themselves basically how they want to facilitate the startup visa, how much work they want to put into it, how much effort, as long as they meet certain criteria that the company is at least likely to be successful. Like they need to have some mentoring at least, right? So to monitor the progress throughout the first year.
If I got it right, the role of this facilitator is to make sure, first of all, that it makes sense for the company to be in the market. But second, also to guide them towards a successful entry in the Netherlands. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. So throughout the first year, we help them basically to find their way, to help them connect to people with that can help them incorporate their company. We can provide funding ourselves, or can redirect them to other people that can provide the funding if they don't have it themselves. We can look if we can find some clients for them, do a little bit of business development maybe, but it's mainly up to the company themselves, and we monitor their progress.
Okay, great. So it's basically having a local incentive or local guidance to facilitate everything. Yep. That's why they name facilitator, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. It makes sense. And when we're talking about you as a facilitator, what are the things that you're expecting from the company to send you or stage perhaps any kind of specific industry? What is your criteria as Crosspring?
For the startup visas, for us, it's important that there's already some traction in the home market at least, so a proven model, so nothing has to change, or at least not so much in the first year, because that will increase the risk for us to facilitate the startup visa, because it can go wrong. So it's important that they have already some sort of a proven model. Should have a good solid plan also for the first year. So what happens if you receive funding from us maybe, or also from another investor? What are you going to do with the money throughout the first year? How are you going to develop your team? Where are you going to live and reside? And who are your first customers to target, for example? Yeah. So it's a good solid plan is important. The team is important, of course. So for us, it's we should know who's coming over, how many people are going to be part of the company, like what is the structure of the company is also important. And we should have at least a pitch deck that explains everything very clearly, but also quite briefly and short, right? So
not 30 pages of
so
a lot of text.
Yeah, we receive many applications with too much text. So we just want to have a clear pitch deck that explains the problem, the solution, the business model, the target market, and return on investment is also important, right? So some sort of financial planning.
And if I am a company and I want to apply, is there any kind of criteria that I should meet towards the Dutch government? Of course, as I understand, every facilitator is going to have different criteria, but there should be a general rule for that, right? Mm-hmm. Is there something?
So the most important thing is that a company should at least have a good reason to come over to the Netherlands, and that they are likely to be successful also in the first year. One very important criteria in that sense is also that they have to be new to the Dutch market with a certain aspect of their business. So it has to be innovative in some way. So that is it's kind of broad to interpret, but that is something that the government itself looks at.
Okay, so they give a broader overview, and then each facilitator is going to judge, with their own expertise, with their own background knowledge, to see if it makes sense for the company to be here. Basically.
Yeah, and also what can we add to this particular business? So if it doesn't fit our focus, for example, then it's probably better to go to another facilitator that does have that focus, right? And
you guys have this network of facilitators, I assume, that you can just refer companies or?
Yeah, so we know from each other what we are doing as well. So we have most of them we know personally, so we can also refer them to others if it's needed.
Okay, perfect. Do you have any additional tip to give for the companies that want to apply to come here under the startup visa?
Well, at least make sure that you have a good solid plan for yourself. What are the type of businesses you would like to meet? What does the plan look like for the next year? Where does the money come from? So do you already have it? Or are you looking for an investor? Make sure that you have a good solid planning at least, and that you already have, you should already have some traction at least before you start applying to another to come to another country, because it can be really difficult if you don't have a good model yet. Like most facilitators won't facilitate the startup visa if they don't see a proven model already, right? So it's because it's quite risky to get them over to the Netherlands.
Okay, perfect. I think, man, that's very clear. We have a very good picture now what the visa is, the process to apply, and also the criteria that you guys are looking for, but also the government is looking for. Mm-hmm. So I thank you very much, and I thank you on behalf of all our users as well. For everyone that is looking to come to the Netherlands, please keep Crosspring in mind, and I'm also going to share the contacts of Koen Van der Burg if you guys want to get in touch.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.